Hey, good morning, everybody. Really appreciate you taking time to join our webinar today, where Jeff Tewksbury, our AI innovation lead here at CEI, is going to go through how to eliminate AI guesswork, improve ROI before you scale with our Clairvoyance solution. So this webinar is a live session. We will have a Q&A at the end. So at any point during the webinar, if you have a question, just go ahead and type it in the Q&A portion of your webinar tool. And when we get to the end, we'll be sure to answer it. But with that, I'm going to hand it over to Jeff so he can take us through the presentation. So over to you, Jeff.
Okay, thank you so much, Kyle. And good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. As Kyle said, my name is Jeff Tewksbury. I'm the AI Innovation Lead and Principal Architect here at CEI. I'm based out of Pittsburgh, for those of you that are as well. I've been with the company now for 20 years, so I've been here for quite some time. Throughout my experience, I think at this point in my career, I probably have the most exciting role at CEI because my team and I focus on something extremely impactful, which is helping organizations turn AI ambition into true business solutions. So today we're here to talk about something that I think every leader on this call is feeling pressure around, which is to deliver AI outcomes fast. And to navigate the challenge of AI uncertainty that's amongst us today. So a little more information about what we'll talk about on today's call. First, we want to cover the market reality and context that we see. We want to ground ourselves in what's really happening out there in the AI landscape, and not just the hype, but really the business truth. We want to talk and take a look at some of the core AI adoption challenges. We'll break down the 5 barriers that we see preventing organizations from capturing true ROI. And then ultimately, we want to introduce our offering called CEI Clairvoyance, our approach to eliminating AI guesswork and proving measurable value before scaling. We'll talk through how it works, our step-by-step methodology that turns AI from uncertainty into predictive outcomes. We'll talk about some real-world use cases that we've been involved with. And then finally, we'll wrap up with why we believe we're best suited and poised to help you realize your AI ambitions and how you can get started. So right now is a very interesting and exciting time. We're all witnessing the largest technological investment cycle since the dawn of the internet. Consider what's happening out there today. 81% of organizations expect to incorporate AI agents into their companies within the next 12 months. And 91% of organizations expect to increase their AI spend in 2026. And worldwide, Gartner forecasted over $2 trillion of AI spend will be spent next year. And early adopters who execute well, they're achieving over 3 times the ROI of typical technology projects. So the promise is real, the business use case is real, and the returns are real. But there is a fundamental problem that we have to address. Many organizations aren't realizing those benefits despite their investments. Over 70% of AI prototypes don't make it to production, and it's reported that 95% of AI pilots fail to deliver measurable ROI. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today, the disparity between investment and the impact, and what we call the AI chasm. So despite the investment, despite the excitement, and despite the promise of 3 times ROI that we know is possible, we see organizations hitting against some common obstacles. One of them is ROI misalignment. We see most companies missing ROI because they fall under one or two extremes. In some cases, organizations take a top-down, generic rollout approach, where broad copilots are deployed to thousands of users, but there's no clear use case, there's low adoption, there's vague measurement, which all lead to little meaningful impact. We also see organizations take a different approach, where they have a bottom-up, isolated experimental approach, where brilliant experiments are built by individual teams, but they're tailored to niche workflows, that don't really scale beyond a couple of users. And both paths can lead to the same outcome, a lot of AI activity without a lot of value. Another challenge we find is data and legacy system constraints. Even when the use case is clear and the value is clear, progress can still stall because data might be either fragmented, inconsistent, locked in legacy systems, or spread across siloed processes. AI can't generate insights from data that's inaccessible or unreliable. Before value can flow, that data must be freed, cleansed, and connected. Trust and reliability issues. Many solutions provide exciting demos, but they fail when they hit the real world. We've seen a number of R&D and customer service teams that deploy natural language knowledge search tools that perform well when they're given simple queries, but when more challenging, complex questions are posed, they tend to hallucinate and even contradict themselves. And the challenge there is that once trust is broken in a solution, adoption is pretty much dead on arrival. There are new security and governance pressures that come with these new types of solutions. AI introduces new questions that organizations are still learning to answer. How do we ensure decisions are explainable? How do we ensure our data is protected behind jailbreakable models? How do we maintain audit and compliance records? How do we manage data privacy and access controls? And how do these new capabilities align with healthcare, finance, and government regulations? Without governance and reliable security, AI can't scale within the enterprise. Then finally, there's talent shortages and bandwidth gaps. Even though organizations know what they want to build, they may not have access to experienced AI engineers, data scientists, MLOps talent, product leaders who understand AI deeply, or maybe they have that talent, but they simply don't have the bandwidth as they struggle along and juggle their daily tasks. The skills gap turns strategic ambitions into a long list of stalled initiatives. To overcome these challenges, organizations can't rely on a single skill set. They need a business-led, cross-functional approach that blends strategy, data, engineering, security, compliance, and operations all working together. So with those challenges in mind, I wanted to introduce our framework designed specifically to solve those challenges. We call this CEI Clairvoyance. It's our methodology and roadmap for removing uncertainty from AI and accelerating the path to enterprise readiness. Clairvoyance is built around one core idea. AI should never be guesswork. It should be measured, validated, and a predictable investment. And we see 4 core pillars that make that possible. The first is impact and ensuring we have measurable ROI from day one. We start by identifying the use cases that actually matter, the ones that have real business outcomes. Not broad top-down deployments everyone ignores, not bottom-up experiments that never scale. Clairvoyance quantifies ROI before we scale by setting clear KPIs and ensuring every solution has a measurable business impact. Secondly, we need to ensure these solutions can be trusted. One of today's biggest barriers is trust. Will the model behave appropriately? Will it hallucinate? Will users be able to trust it? Clairvoyance addresses this head-on with automated evaluation pipelines, scenario testing, and continuous quality checks. We validate reliability early, not after rollout. Secure and protected by design. Security and privacy can't be bolted on after the fact. Our approach embeds data protection and guardrails into the architecture from day one, so every solution can be deployed with confidence. And lastly, policy-driven governance. Every implementation aligns to your governance model, ensuring decisions are explainable, auditable, and aligned with regulatory compliance. So I want to talk a little bit about how this works. We begin with a short discovery session with your team to understand the challenges and the potential AI use cases, which we call our point of view. So that starts with an initial discovery workshop with your business leaders and process experts. And in all honesty, this just takes a couple of hours. What we're looking to do is map the current process and pain points, understand where inefficiencies, delays, or opportunities might exist, identify the supporting systems and data sources, and pinpoint areas where AI has the highest potential to move the needle. This session gives us a shared view of business challenges and the constraints around it. Following that initial workshop, we'll move quickly to create a structured point of view proposal. And this will include a few key things: an articulated description of the process challenges and business scenarios that we identified during the workshops, the proposed solution design of an end solution that would be able to alleviate those challenges or be able to drive those opportunities, a clear prototype scope that we can use to suss out the initial scope and get a clear understanding of what's possible, and the data requirements that we'll need to implement that prototype. This step aims to give you clear alignment and a concrete direction before a single line of code is written. Once we have alignment on the opportunity, we move into a focused 2 to 4 week proof of value engagement. This is where we dive deeper into the business impact, the technical feasibility, and the organizational readiness, all before you commit to a final build. We start with a business impact analysis and measure measure what actually matters. This could include cycle times, error rates, labor cost reductions, the volume, and the throughput, and convert these into measurable OKRs. This gives you a quantified view of where AI can drive the most meaningful impact before large investments are made. Number 2, we develop a working prototype, taking the theoretical to tangible, using your real data so that you can see how the solution will perform in the real world. Next, we need to understand where you are today, and we do that with our readiness assessment. Our team will assess your organizational readiness, gathering information needed to understand the data requirements needed, the integrations, the security, the governance, and the effort around those, so we can understand what the effort will be to support this in production. This ensures you know exactly what will take to operationalize and scale the prototype. And then finally, the implementation roadmap. We'll deliver a clear executive summary, outline the effort, what we learned during the prototype, the perceived ROI, and how we plan to proceed safely and effectively with an implementation. And before moving forward, we want to reassess that implementation plan. We want to take a look at whether or not it's going to deliver the expected ROI based on the expected cost to implement, and make a clear go, no-go decision based on evidence, effort, and business value, ensuring we only move forward when the case is strong. Now, assuming it is, and the value is evident, our team will work with yours to build your MVP solution along a proven, repeatable golden path that ensures delivery and reduces risk, all within 1 to 2 months. This includes a few things. 1, we can set up your AI and data landing zones. We can start by establishing them, secure, scalable AI and data landing zones. Using our accelerators, we can rapidly provision and configure the AI platform so infrastructure doesn't slow you down. Next, we work together to build the MVP solution itself. This includes the AI components, evaluation pipelines, so we can ensure that the solution is reliable, curated data flows, and live integrations into your systems. The result is a functional MVP that delivers real value in production. And last, AI operations. During the build, we want to implement and harden our AI ops, enabling deployment, monitoring, auditing, security red teaming, and governance to ensure the solution is trustworthy, secured, compliant, and can scale within your organization. Once your MVP is delivering value, there's an optional step, which is to scale, expanding the solution and your organizational capabilities so AI can become a reliable, repeatable part of your overall business operations. The first step there is to scale the operations. At this stage, we help you scale AI. My apologies. At this stage, we help you scale AI across the enterprise with seamless management across multiple environments. This includes advanced model routing, cost attribution between different solutions, and data classification and governance needed to safely run AI at scale. It ensures your operations remain efficient, compliant, and fully observable as adoption grows within your organization. And next, and finally, instructor-led training. We can help you scale your people. We provide this training around AI fundamentals and use case specific enablement so your team understands how to extend and grow their solutions over time. So when we look across organizations, we've seen 2 or 3 types that consistently drive the most business value. One of the first ones is document intelligence and knowledge search. So anytime a team is buried in documents, reports, research, contracts, technical content, AI can extract what matters, connecting the dots and surfacing answers instantly, turning hours of searching into seconds. A few examples that I want to highlight. We had a financial services client, and they needed to be able to determine how much revenue bond is tied to real estate activity, a process that previously required skilled staff to painstakingly read through hundreds of pages of disclosure documentation. CEI's agentic AI solution cut that review time from 20 to 40 hours down to 3 or 5 minutes while delivering citable, reliable eligibility recommendations. Another such solution is an agentic R&D knowledge assistant. We have a client in the energy sector that maintains proprietary and complex SOP documentation for their constituents, making it difficult and time-consuming for those constituents to locate technical guidance. Chatbot streamlines this by allowing natural language questions to surface accurate, context-rich insights from deep across subscribed documentation in a fraction of the time. Agentic process automation is another such scenario. With agentic process automation, these workflows work along with people and AI side by side to handle the repetitive steps where humans focus on judgment and oversight, and AI handles the drudgery and the toily activities, providing a powerful way to accelerate processes without losing control or quality. One such scenario is loan origination and document review, which often requires analysts to sift through dense, unstructured paperwork, creating bottlenecks and delays and inconsistent results. Agentic AI solutions streamline these workflows by extracting key information, summarizing complex documents, and automating recommendations that once required hours. Invoice processing is another scenario. We've automated entire invoice reconciliation processes using agentic AI solutions that can identify each vendor, pull out the right fields, match those invoices to purchase orders within their account payable systems. What used to take dedicated teams 8 to 9 weeks to complete invoices due to volumes now takes minutes with no to little human intervention. And finally, predictive analytics. These solutions look at patterns in your data to provide early warning signs, forecast trends, and recommend the best actions. A couple scenarios that we've seen. Number one is grocery inventory record inaccuracy. Groceries often face inventory inaccuracies of up to 60%, driven by theft, process drift, supplier issues, operational errors. This can lead to phantom stock, missed sales opportunities, empty shelves, and increased spoilage. AI can continually detect stock and sales anomalies, enabling more targeted inventory cycle counts and faster corrections to keep inventory records accurate and in near real time, resulting in millions of dollars of increased revenue. Predictive maintenance is another scenario. If a client that has equipment issues in the commodity trading space, this client has cocoa processing facilities where they can only identify faults once they occur, prompting operations and technicians to initiate reactive maintenance that often results in significant production losses. We aim to shift the predictive maintenance by continually monitoring machine behavior and spotting early warning signs so that we can so we can intervene before failures disrupt operations. So with those challenges in mind, here's why we feel that CEI is best positioned to help you deliver fast and reliable results. Number one, we have a large cross-functional team of certified experts across strategy, AI, data architecture, and security, which can ensure enterprise-grade solutions from design through delivery, and brings the real-world experiences needed to help you navigate the challenges that AI introduces. Number two, solution accelerators, environment templates, and our AI-driven development approaches cut build time in half, getting capabilities to market faster with more consistency, so you can start seeing value sooner and keep momentum without sacrificing quality. And finally, world-class AI operations, security and governance, and deployment accelerators can reduce operational overhead by up to 70% while improving reliability and control, giving you a transparent foundation that's stable and scalable. So I want to thank you for your time today. We're excited about what's possible and looking forward to helping you navigate the next wave of AI opportunities. If anything you heard today resonates, please feel free to reach out to your CEI sales rep or even myself. We'd love to explore what's possible together. And with that, Kyle, I'll hand it back over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff. Really appreciate you walking through clairvoyance and the benefit that it can provide organizations. Lots of exciting things going on here at CEI and what we can do for our clients. So folks, we are currently in the Q&A portion of the webinar. So any questions you would like to ask Jeff while he's on the line in your Q&A section of your Microsoft Teams little dashboard, please go ahead and enter those questions in and we'll answer them as they come in. So Jeff, one question that we did get that I wanted to pose to you is someone asked, how do you help organizations determine which AI use cases will deliver the highest ROI and avoid getting stuck in pilots?
Yeah, that's a great question. So this is what our proof of value is really aimed to address. So there's a few things that can happen when you're looking at AI use cases. You might have AI use cases that have significant ROI, but the organization simply isn't ready. It may be that data is trapped and that significant work would have to be done in order to free that data to make it available to AI. You might have other scenarios where the AI ROI seems very, very tangible and very real, but there's significant governance hurdles that you have to come over. Those could be security, those could be compliance, those could be being able to, if you have solutions where you're making recommendations, you have to be able to explain why you're making those recommendations if they're going to impact people's lives. So that's the purpose of this four-step approach that we have during the proof of value. Is that number one, we want to assess what the business impact is, regardless of those other criteria. We want to find out and take a look at, is it something that is going to drive significant growth and significant ROI within the organization? That ROI could be realized via cost savings, or it could be realized by increased revenue. Another big part that we want to do is we want to make sure that we execute that working prototype. Again, some things look reasonable on paper, but we might find challenges when we actually go to put them into a working environment. So that prototype is really meant to validate that the approach that we have is sound and can be carried forward. And then the other part of that is that readiness report to see, even though if we have the ROI, is the cost of this solution going to align and provide us with an ROI beyond what the actual, or the cost would be less than what the actual business benefit would be. So this is where we're taking a look at, what is it going to mean to get data into this system? Is it ready today? Is there work to be done? What kind of systems do we need to integrate with? Are there legacy systems that are going to have challenges that we'll need to address? So this will give us a roadmap in terms of the effort that's going to be involved to get that data ready. So all those things, I think the business impact, the prototype, and then the readiness are all kind of attributes that go into that calculation of determining whether or not a solution will have a meaningful ROI.
Gotcha. That makes sense, Jeff. We had another question come in. If we're dealing with fragmented knowledge across multiple systems, how do your AI solutions actually surface the right information in real time?
So there's a couple ways we can do that. So number one, we can implement custom MCPs to integrate with those environments based on the communication channels that we can access them. So if you have solutions that have APIs or that have entry points into databases or things like that, we can actually tie directly into them and make that data available to our AI and our reasoning. But there might be instances where that data isn't always readily available, or that data needs to be curated and refined before we feel comfortable providing it to our AI. In those cases, we have a team that focuses on data platform and data operations. That team of data engineers can come in, take a look at your existing data silos, and provide centralized data aggregation across a curated data plane, where we can take data in, we can assess the quality of it, and then we can automate and operationalize making that data available and basically curating that data so that when we give it to AI, we feel that it's ready to go.
Yep, that makes sense. We had a question come in. What is an MCP?
MCP. So MCP is a protocol, model context protocol. This is a standard by which, and it was developed by Anthropic, but it's been adopted widely across the AI community. It's a standardized protocol for how AI can integrate with different tools. So prior to MCP, everyone was kind of doing this their own way, providing access to systems to AI so that AI could orchestrate those systems on their behalf. But what's been really powerful about MCP is that it's making it so that we can build in standards across AI platforms, whether or not those platforms are in GCP and Azure, AWS, to access different types of resources and different types of data. And so by using that standard, we can actually easily create MCPs that can connect up with your systems, depending on how those systems interact with the real world. So if you have APIs, if you have databases that are out there, we can create MCPs that connect directly up with those APIs and those databases and can pull that information in as AI is attempting to reason or perform actions against those systems.
Gotcha. But I had no idea what it was, and now I'm educated too. So I appreciate that, Jeff. We do have another question because I know we only have a couple minutes left, and I think this is a good one and an important one that a lot of people are probably thinking about. How do you ensure that the automation opportunities identified integrate cleanly with our existing systems without risk or rework?
Yes. And so this is really, again, that AI readiness. So from that perspective, I think a lot of companies, and when we talked about the challenges that companies face, I think a lot of companies face challenges when they have a prototype that they've built that in a sandbox works really well and actually has some exciting capabilities. But when they try to scale that to a production system, they realize the challenges that come with, well, now we need to govern it. Now we need to secure it. Now we need to link it up with legacy systems. What does that mean? That's the whole point of that readiness assessment as part of the proof of value, is to understand that upfront and put a plan together so we can know what we need to do in order to actually make that system live and production ready.
Excellent. Thank you, Jeff. We only have about a minute left. So Jeff, really appreciate your time and walking through that for everybody. It's a great opportunity for businesses to really figure out how they can put AI to work within their organization and really drive ROI from it, instead of being stuck in pilot mode or trying to figure out if the AI solutions you have today are actually making a difference and actually driving that measurable outcome. So, folks, if you have any further questions or would like to speak more about clairvoyance with a CEI rep, please do reach out to your account manager or your key CEI contact. They would be more than happy to talk to you about this. And we truly appreciate, excuse me, my seasonal allergies kicking in. Truly appreciate you all joining the call and learning more. I'm excited for what the future holds and hope you all have a fantastic day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.